Good morning, folks. It's 4:52 a.m. 52.3 degrees. Day 115, July 26. 4:30 ain't as bright as it used to be, man. But I'm waking up. All right, good morning again, folks. 6:17 in the morning. 49.4 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm just leaving, well, kind of left camp a little bit ago, but just leaving breakfast right across from camp, probably 200 or 300 feet away from camp. Yeah, so pretty happy with my decision yesterday to push a little bit, get a little bit further down trail. I think that means today, I don't even know. I can't really make sense out of how many miles I had slated to do today, less the miles for today, which I did yesterday. It might be 22, it might be 25, something like that. What's 3 miles between friends, really? But I think we'll kind of get to where we're going, kind of like we did yesterday. Kind of get to where we're going, and then reassess whether it might make sense to plug in another few miles, if that's an option again, because it might not be an option if pushing another few miles puts me back into Grand Teton National Park. Then I can't push another few miles because I don't have a permit to camp there. Yeah, last night was a pretty good night, pretty comfortable. Never really got super cold, but didn't really stay hot enough to be uncomfortable either. So that was really nice. Slept great. That was really a nice little spot back there in the pines. So it was good. But like I said, when I was waking up, man, 4:30 is nowhere near as bright as it used to be, especially with a moon that I believe maybe a new moon tomorrow night or something. So not much moonlight in the sky either right now. Let's see, anything else? I don't really think so. My mother pointed out when I was with her, the day before yesterday, so my day 113, which was my final zero with my folks, day before yesterday, 113, that day, my day 113 on this trail was every bit the 1 year anniversary of summiting Tetons, so that was pretty neat. Leave it to Mom. She'll always remember that sort of thing. But just a cool little landmark there. And then I didn't realize until I was processing video last night that last night we rolled 1900 as well. So hit 1900 miles, 1900.4 miles by the time I laid down my head yesterday. So that was pretty good. Feeling pretty good about that. And then by the time we get to our next town, outside of Yellowstone, should be above 2,000, which would be really, really neat. I didn't mention this yesterday, but just a quick little programming note, and then we'll get hiking. That I kind of inadvertently, I feel like, made it sound as though I'm going 9 days without resupply on this jump, which isn't the case. I'm carrying probably today I'm carrying like 4 days of food because I had that snack yesterday and didn't eat a lot of the food that I had packed out yesterday. I'm carrying like 4.5 days of food, with the plan being to get down to Old Faithful General Store or something like that. I understand that there's some kind of tchotchkes and moderate resupply at Old Faithful in Yellowstone, of course. So the plan is I'm carrying 4.5 days of food, get to Old Faithful, load up another 4.5 days of food, and then keep going out of there. So that's kind of what's going on. I'm not carrying, no way I'm carrying 9 days of food. That would be brutal. So anyways, yeah, cool little morning, nice little morning. We'll get hiking, and I will, hopefully once we get up this crest, we'll have some more views of the Tetons, and that'll be pretty cool. So I'll talk to you guys later. All right, folks, it is 11:32 and 80.8 degrees. And I'm just leaving Lake Solitude over here. I was thinking about maybe sitting down and having some cooked food here, but I think I'm gonna save that for just a little bit further. So I mentioned, I think it was in last night's video, I mentioned about how today would involve some off-trail activities. Well, this is that point. So you can see we're in a bit of a cirque here with Grand Tetons, where I'm coming from, and then kind of this ring of cliffs with a lake down at the foot of the ring. Well, my plan, well, not really my plan really, but my hope had been to go straight up in the sort of cirque and get off trail over there. A funny little wrinkle about what's happening today is that, so I've been riding, as I said yesterday, kind of the Teton Crest Trail, yesterday and today, more or less, and the Teton Crest Trail ends right about here where I am, but then picks up again back in Jedediah Smith Wilderness, which is just over on the other side of those cliffs, about a mile or two. And I need to find my way over there to continue the hike, but I don't love the way this cliff looks. So I'm sure I could probably go up it, but I don't really think I want to try. It just looks pretty darn steep, and even more than steep, because it looks like there might be some workable contours that I could potentially negotiate. But even more than steep, I'm just seeing a lot of loose stone, just a ton of loose stone. So I feel like I've already tried in a few instances, most specifically that creek crossing or whatever, East Fork Elk Creek or whatever it was, I don't remember, and more recently at Knapsack Col. I feel like I've tried some of this push your luck with strange trail condition business, and I don't think I want to do that a third time, not yet anyways, maybe later, but not today. So what I'm going to do instead is it looks like I can gain most of this elevation by following, I don't know if you'll be able to make out, there's a trail out along this ridge which goes the opposite compass cardinal direction than the direction I want to go ultimately, but it's an established trail. And so what I think I can do is ride that trail, which is like paintbrush divide or paint something. I can follow that trail up to gain my elevation and then get off of that trail, and it looks on the topos like it might be a bit of a knife edge up top side, but the contours look somewhat manageable. So provided the terrain's okay, at least I'm not trying to gain elevation on loose scree and unestablished trail. At least this way I can gain my elevation on an established trail, and then try and figure out how to get to where I'm going after that. So anyways, yeah. Oh, and for those of you wondering, that water is indeed quite cold. So it was super refreshing. Constrict all the muscles, take a little rinse, and then lay out for just 10 minutes or so and kind of dry up just a bit. But happy I did it. Now I can say I did it. And now we're gonna try and get sweaty all over again. So I'll probably have lunch in a little bit once I get back onto the other trail on the other side over in Jedediah Smith Wilderness. But this will be my afternoon check-in, so I'll talk to you guys once I get to wherever I'm going. I haven't really 100,000% decided just yet. So what a beautiful spot, man. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful spot. I'll talk to you guys later. Alright guys, 3:04 p.m. and 73.4 degrees. I am in a absolutely beautiful place here, but I have a status update which is not at all beautiful. So it's been whatever, 3 hours, yeah, a little more than 3 hours since I left Solitary Lake or Lake Solitude or something. Lake Solitude, I think. And I think I've moved about 3 miles if I'm lucky. Dude, I went down that paintbrush trail and then veered off for that knife edge, but I went down the knife edge about a mile or something. Super slow going. So slow going. And then finally I could just go no further. The knife edge was way too sketchy. So I did the next least sketchy thing and came down super loose earth and scree and stone. Definitely one of those kind of like face towards the hill, shortened up my trekking poles all the way, and then just kind of stepped kind of like backwards down as you might reverse down a ladder or something. So luckily that went okay, and now I'm in the valley and not on the knife edge, which for the moment is an improvement. But frankly, I really don't know how I'm going to get back up to where it is that I'm supposed to be. And I'm not really sure what the topography looks like, because I am not thrilled about Gaia GPS right now. The topographic maps are not buffering at all, so they are just big blurry messes with which I can do absolutely nothing at all constructive. So so that is a huge bummer, because I'm kind of, I don't want to say flying blind, that would be overstating it, but I don't really have the resources I need to anticipate the most efficient or safe or anything else route to get to where I'm going. So I've all but decided at this point that I am not putting any extra miles into today beyond those which I cannot help but incur on account of all of these incredibly treacherous trails that I'm trying, not even trails, just incredibly treacherous qualities of terrain which I'm trying to navigate. Gonna try my best, per usual, to not do anything particularly stupid, because I think at the moment the stakes are lower than they were an hour ago or 2 hours ago, but they're higher than I'm comfortable with. So I'm gonna stay snacked up, stay hydrated, and move with extreme deliberation, because well, to be perfectly honest with you folks, I'm not doing great right now, so we'll kind of see how it all goes. Should be great. This is the CDT, baby. All right. Whew. All right, time to focus. I'll talk to you guys later. Ooh, just tried to get a shot of a deer, slipped on some gravel. Took an impromptu sit down. Oh my god, today. Alright. I wonder if the deer's still here. Alright, y'all. Excuse me, it's 6:12 p.m., 74.6 degrees. I have not made it to camp for the night, but dude, this is gonna be my evening check-in, man. I am 1000% wiped. What an adventure that was. Now, luckily, let me see, the most important part first is that I'm safe. Didn't hurt anything. Just totally drained myself. And I'm also back on, like I explained earlier, the Teton Crest Trail is kind of split in half. And the southern half is in Grand Teton National Park, and the northern half is in Jedediah Smith Wilderness. And the two do not connect. Well, I decided to off-trail it a bit, try and connect them. And I did some due diligence, perhaps not, obviously not quite as much as I should have. But I had asked around the past week or two, and the consensus among some park employees and some locals was that the two are connectable. Well, I guess the proof is in the pudding. They indeed are connectable, but I mean, every chance in the world there's an easier way to do it. I'm not too sure there would be a harder way to do it than the way I did it. So probably I just missed the mark and took what I wound up what I thought would wind up being an easier, safer way, and became a way less easy and potentially way less safe way. But yeah, man, that knife edge was extremely challenging, extremely challenging for a while, and then became like 3 or 4 extremely challenging, and then just became too hard. I wasn't gonna do it, not without like ropes and buddies and stuff like that. It just became too hard, so had to shimmy down the mountain. So basically I climbed a mountain, said I could come down a mountain off trail and at a steep grade and loose soil, and then traversed a valley with no trails and water everywhere, and then climbs back up out of that valley, again no trail, super steep, but luckily to climb out I guess wasn't so bad. So if you're curious to know what the heck I'm talking about, you can check out the Gaia GPS recording track. Alright, well, just as I was, well, complaining about my bad day, my GoPro battery died, so I needed to stop, take off my pack, open up my pack, take out a new battery, blah, 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 whatever. Sorry, guys, I'll be honest, today was just a bummer day. I mean, that lake was awesome, but, you know, anyways, when I was in that valley, I stopped and cooked some dinner. I had a double pack of ramen per usual, and cleaned up and everything. I kind of sat down for 45 minutes or an hour. I had felt the wheels coming off, sort of head getting funky and body getting tired and all that stuff, and that's really no good, at least for me. I don't know about other folks. I mean, I guess that's no good for anyone really. But I recognize those symptoms. And as I did way down south of Lordsburg one day, I think it was like my 3rd day on trail, dude, when I start feeling that way, I ground myself. I shut it down. I e-brake it. I stop, come to a dead stop, and work on fixing whatever in the world is going on, until I can at least put my head back together enough to keep moving, which isn't always easy, but it's kind of the most important thing, I think. Your body will catch up, but you gotta control the head. So anyway, so in keeping with that, it's gonna be a pretty early night. I think this lake down here looks like a pretty comfortable place to call home. I shouldn't say a pretty early night. I'm gonna have more miles to do tomorrow and the next day. But it is what it is. Fundamentally, I just need to stop. And it's whatever it is, 6:30 or something like that. So 6:22. So I'm not even really that much earlier than usual. But it is what it is, man. Some days are just really hard. And I think the most, I'm thankful as heck that I'm okay and that I'm safe and that I'm healthy. That's great. So I don't mean to ignore that overarching most important fact, but I think part of the thing that really kind of gets to me is when I make decisions that I think are going to be good decisions and then they're bad decisions. That bothers the heck out of me. I really try and make good decisions. So, well, whatever. I guess whichever bad decisions put me in whatever situation, at whatever point you want to look at it. I suppose it was some mix of good decisions, karma, and luck that got me out of those bad situations. So, yeah, I'm done today, guys. Hopefully tomorrow we can stay on trail all day, and that would be lovely. But I'm done for today. Tomorrow's a whole new day, and it's almost certain to be a better day, and I'm excited about that. So I'm gonna get down here, pitch up my tent, and bunk up. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Sorry, it's a bit of a bummer video, but hopefully there was some pretty stuff in there for you. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, still walking into camp. Sorry, I just thought of 2 more bummer things I want to report just for posterity and full disclosure. And I don't want to contaminate tomorrow's video with any bummer news. So when I was hiking through that valley, I bent up my trekking pole pretty good. I think I was able to bend it back, so score 1 for carbon. But then also the handle is just totally deteriorating. So I ordered some new ones, and they should be waiting for me in Bozeman. And then the other bummer news, not huge bummer, didn't deserve that kind of sigh, I'm just wiped. The other bummer news was that I heard back from Topo, the makers of my shoes. They originally were like, oh yeah, your proof of purchase says you bought them at REI, so just go ahead and return them to REI. And I'm like, look, that's great. But I explained in my first email that, like, I'm on the Montana-Wyoming border. There are no REIs here. And then they wrote back, and they were like, oh, we see we replaced a couple pairs already. Perhaps our shoes just aren't rugged enough for your needs. So I kind of feel like I just got dumped. By my preferred thru-hiking shoe of choice. But luckily I have enough pair back home to get me through this trail, and then I'll really have to reassess after that. So who knows? But I won't be getting a replacement shoe from Topo, and my trekking poles. I can't complain about my trekking poles. They've got 4,000 miles on them by now, but it's still a bummer. Well, I think that's it for bummer news. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.